Hi everyone, I hope you are doing great. Today we are going to talk about Next.js 14, and this is my first simulated stream, so this is not going live right now, but this is just a preparation for my next stream, maybe tomorrow or next weekend. So if this is successful, I think I'll be able to do live streams, so we are going to do that. So let's start setting up the project. We run npx create next app at latest to create our first tutorial. So it says there is new version of create next app. Yes, we need that one. What are we going to name? Next 14 tutorial 1. Are we going to use TypeScript? Yes. ESLint? Yes. Tailwind? No. Source? Yes. Uploader? Yes. Imported? Yes. Yes. Yeah, use the default. So this is going to install all the this is going to install all the dependencies we need for this project. This might take some time depending on our internet speed, and also depending on the amount of packages that need to be installed. That was faster than I thought. Next, okay. So let's drag this VS Code. Yes, I trust the others. So let's go through the file structure. I hope you can see it. Let me try to zoom in. Okay. Zoom in. Command equal. Yeah, I hope you can see now. So this is the node modules, the public, which hosts everything that all the static files like images and anything that you want to be accessed after the first forward slash. The source hosts all the code, and app hosts all the pages. So every page comes inside the app directory. The next env.d.ts, this is going to be the file we are going to use for all the global environments. So next config.js, this is going to host any configuration or anything that we need to change for Next.js. And everything else is same for any other JavaScript project. So let's go to the home page and let's see this page. Let's run this first. So it's running in the browser. So let's go to localhost 3000. Yeah, that's localhost 3000. So this is the default any Next project. So we are going to remove all these. We are going to bring our code. So let's go back to the code. Okay, let's remove everything inside main. So we see this now in the browser. We have hello world here. So what we are going also to do is remove all the styling from the default global.css. So let's remove everything. Now we have hello world. Yeah, now we have the hello world in the browser. So let's go back to the code. We don't have the global.css. We don't have the so the first thing we need to do is we are going to change the from CSS just to SCSS, which is yeah. So we need to use SAS. So I'm going to install it. And add so I'm going to paste the style that is already made for me. But let's finish this. This is taking longer than I thought. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a lot of dogs barking outside. We are almost there. See, okay, this is done. Let's close that. So I'm going to, one second. So we have global.css and all the styles, because we are not learning in this tutorial how to style things. So that's why I copy it over here. One other thing is we need to rename this from globals.css to globals. So we need to replace everywhere we have globals.css with globals.scss. Okay, now so we created the project. We went through the structure of the files. So now we need to create the app routes. So the first thing we need to do is create a group for new folder. We'll call it when you want to group pages without affecting the route, the URL, you put it inside brackets. So we are going to call this authentication. So all the authentication pages will live inside here. One second, instead of doing that, let's call it auth. So auth, and we will have login slash page.tsx and register.tsx page.tsx. So these two pages are going to have our forms. So the first thing we need to do is the register page needs to be client component. So we start with use. One second, let's when we have the skeleton, the page of the component, we need to start with use client. Then as this is going to be a beginner course, we are not going to do the server functions. In the next tutorial, I'm going to go deeper and explain what server functions are and how we can use those server functions. So we will need email, set email, which is going to be react.use state, which is going to be string with empty string as the default. Also, we will need a password, set password, which is going to be react use state, which is also a string with empty string as default. So we also need a way to show if there is an error. We need to show error message, set error message, which is going to be react.use effect, no, use state. It's going to be string also. Now we have all the state, and also we in here we need to have, so we will have here main as the wrapper, and div page container. We need to match the class names with the global CSS we have added. So we will have in here h1 register, and we will have form, and in the form we are going to have the error message, and with class name error with the error message. So one thing I almost forgot is in the form we also will need a confirm password. Password confirm, set password confirm, react use state string with, so it will be an empty string. So this is going to be needed by PocketBase, which we are going to use as a backend for the authentication. So let's go back to the form fields, and the first field is going to be label or label HTML for name. So name and the input type text, name equals name. Let's do this. Name equals name, value equals name. Oh, I think we also forgot that const name, set name. So value name on change, we will have set name a target name value. So we need to copy this and change the values. The second is email. Type email. Email. Set email. So we need to do the same for password. Name. Type is password. Name password. Value password. And set password. Then confirm password, and here we will need password confirm, set confirm, set password confirm. I think we already have all we need, right? We are missing the button, so we need a button with type submit. Button type submit, which has the text register. Register. We are going to come back for the on submit handling. So let's go to the web browser and see what we have in auth/register. So we have this. One thing we are missing is the styling seems to not work. Let's see. I think we are missing the let's go back to the code. Here in the layout, here we have children, and we have global.css. Why doesn't that show here? Let's show all. One second, maybe it could be. I've changed to port 3001. Let's see if it was a cache issue. Nope, doesn't show yet. So let's debug this together. Page container, and let's go to global.css main page container. Let's see if we have page container. It's correct. Have main. Let's put here border and pixels solid red and see. Yeah, that's correct. Let's put in the page container. That's also correct. Oh, I think I found the issue. because it expects the form to be inside card. So that fixes the formatting. Let's go back to the page here. Now it looks much better. Let's remove the border we added. So we have the register page right now. So we need to hook it up with the backend. So the first thing we need to do, let's go back to the code and let's open the terminal. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the PocketBase binary there. CP which PocketBase. So this is going to copy from where it's installed in my system and copy it in to the current directory. So let me split this and run PocketBase serve. Then let's run the web page again. So we are back to the code. So the first thing we need to do is we are going to create a wrapper around the PocketBase. So let's create inside source. We are going to create a folder with the name dp and inside the need index.js. And here we are going to create sport const PocketBase URL, which we are going to get from the terminal. So here, then we are going to need to create a class which is going to initialize the database for us. Export class database client. We'll need client, which is going to be PocketBase. We need PocketBase. Let's import that. Import PocketBase from PocketBase. Oh, I forgot to install it. So let's install that. And add PocketBase. So while we wait for that, let's continue. We'll need a constructor to initialize files. This client equals new PocketBase, and we pass the PocketBase URL. So what else do we need? We will need some other methods to access the page, to access the database. So just helper functions that are going to simplify when we access the database. The first one is register method. It's going to take a form, which is going to be, we need to have type here. So email, password confirm, yeah. So we need name string. Okay, let me put it here, up here. Sport type t register one. Okay, so in that type we will need name, email, string, password, string. It's the same as what we have in the register form we already created. Password, confirm, string. So also we will need another type the same as this one for the login. So let's create it here while we are here. The login form, that one is going to be much more simpler. So it only needs email and password. Email and password. Okay, so let's go back to the register form. The register form. And what is, okay, we are not, yeah, so we need to handle any error that is caused by result equals await this dot client dot, yeah, collection is, yep, client collection, which is users collection. We call create function and pass the form. So when we have the result, what we need to do is just return it. Return result. We are returning the result. If there is an issue, we throw the error. So let's go back to the register page. And we need to handle the on submit of the form. We need to declare the on submit. It's an arrow function. Then we need, what do we need here? Yep. We need to ignore the default dot the type of event we make it any. Okay, prevent default, so it doesn't redirect the whole page. We need the construct to create the data that the data we are going to send to the database data, and we will need name, email, password, and password confirm. We have that. We will need, so because this is client component, we need to have an API endpoint that the client requests anything from. So we are going to create that. So under the app, we need to create, we're going to create API, register, and route.ts. Yep. So inside route.ts, we need to access the database here. So import db from db. And also we forgot to export anything from the database here. So what we need is, this is just a class. We need to initialize it. Export const db equals new db, and export default db. So right now we are exporting it 2 times. So the only difference here is in another file, when you do it like import db from like that, will work. Also this will work. You destructure it. So this one is going to be this export const, but if you just directly import it, it will default to this one. Okay, let's go back to the route, to the API endpoint. So here, each function we export from here needs to have the name of the HTTP verb, something like post, get, put, something like that. So let's do export const, no, async function post takes request, which is request, and yeah, that's it. It takes that, and in here we need to destructure the request JSON, which is passed by Next.js. So const name, email, password confirm from await request dot json request.json. So we are getting the body of the request and destructuring it this way. So this can break things. So let's wrap it in a try catch. So here we need to access the register helper function that we created. Const result equals await db dot register. We need to pass all these data. So we are going to pass the whole thing as a response, the whole result. So we return next response, which is from next/server JSON result. JSON result. Okay. So if there is an error, we need to handle this. So we need to do return next response.json, and we need to send an error. So it should be error.message or an error card. The second argument is that we are passing the more info about the request. So we do status 400. I think we are in. So this is all we need to create an endpoint in Next 13 and Next 14. So let's go back here, and we need to call that endpoint from here using just a normal fetch. So const response equals await fetch. So we need API register, and we are going to pass the following configuration. The method is post headers. We need to content type, which is application JSON. The third thing we need to pass is the body, and we use a JSON string file to change the data above to string. So this also can break things, so we need to handle the error. So we check if response dot okay. So if it's not okay, we need to set error message to whatever text the response return, or something went wrong. So, and we need to return, right? We need to return. So if everything is okay, we need to get the JSON. And from the JSON, we will need to, if there was any error message, we need to clear that. And we need to redirect the user to, we need the router from React navigation. So here, router.push auth/login. So we are redirecting the user to the login. So if there is an error, set error message, error, or message or something went wrong. And we also need to console log error or register error. I think we have it ready. So let's refresh the page. And also we would need to access the admin page of PocketBase. So I need to register this one. Test at or at so we have users here. When we create a user, it should show up here. Default export is not React component. Auth login. So what's the problem? Yep. Here. Login page. Yeah. So let's go back here and refresh. So the register endpoint worked and we have a user in our database. So let's work on the login page. So in the login page, what we need is, let's copy all we have here from register and bring it here and replace the names. So let's remove name and this other stuff we don't need. So yeah, I'm going to create that endpoint. So here, just to save time, I'm reusing whatever we built a few minutes ago. So let's see how login page looks. So we have the login page. Let's go to the routes and copy this to a new route. Login / route.ts. So here, let's remove confirm, let's remove name, and let's remove those from here. And let's go here. We will need another function, login. It will take form, the login form. try so it should have everything from here. The only thing that needs to change is create needs now to be auth with password. Auth with password. Yeah. So it will take the email from password. So after that, we need to check if, we need just to return the result. So one other thing we are going to need is every time we need to parse when we are checking if a user is logged in or not. So I'm going to add this reusable function here, parse cookie store any. It should return a string, a cookie which is a string. Yeah. So let's do cookie equals cookie store dot get, and the name of the default name but PocketBase uses is this pb auth. So if there is no, okay, let's do this const. If no cookie, we are going to return empty string. But if there is any, we return cookie dot value or empty string. So we are going to use this function in when we are going to check if a user is logged in, and also when we are getting the profile of the user, and we are going to build that right away. So the first thing we need to do is authenticated. It will take a cookie store. It will take a cookie store. Let's do try catch to handle any error. So this dot client dot auth store dot load from cookie. This parse cookie, which is going to take the cookie store. So this is going to take the cookie from the, when we are going to pass the cookie for that request. So it will load, for each request, it will load a different cookie. So it doesn't mix between different users. So right now we need to check if this client dot auth store is valid. When it loads the cookie, it validates if the cookie is not expired and if the token from that cookie is still valid. So if it's not, we are going to throw an error. So one other thing is we need to get the authenticated user. I think get auth authenticated user, it takes the same thing as the one before, which is why we put the parse in its own. So try catch this dot client dot auth store dot load from cookie is dot parse cookie. So that line is exactly this one, cookie store. What is different is the second line between these two. So instead of is valid, we return the model which holds a JSON object of the user, the logged in user. Return this dot client dot auth store dot model. So if there is an error, it throws the same error. So we are done with in this file. So we have the initialization of the PocketBase database, the register, which we already tested and is working, and the login, this reusable parsing of the cookies, and a way to check if the user with the current cookies is logged in or not, and get authenticated user, which returns the profile of the current user. So let's get back to the router. We are going back to the router. So here we need login. I'm just going to take this. So what we need here is also we need to set the cookies. Then how do we do that? I'm going to show you. So after db login, we got the result, and we destructure the result. It should have a record, which is the details of the user, token, which is the JWT token, and result from the result here. So we need to cookies. We need to import cookies first. Import cookies from next slash headers. So cookies we call set, and what was the name we used? pp auth here. We set that to db.client.authStar.export cookie. We're just going to do all the things we need. So now we have the cookies set. What we need is to return the record and token. We are returning the So let's go back to the login page. So in the login page, on submit, we have the API login, and after that, what we need is we need to check if the user is authenticated. After JSON, let's const is authenticated, which is going to be the JSON if the JSON has a token. So what we are checking right now is if the token exists. We are going to handle the guards, or we are going to redirect them to the user if they are not logged in. We will get to that. But right now is if we want to check if we are going to redirect to the home page or we keep the user in the current page. So let's do if is authenticated. That's true. We set the let's bring this one here. We set the second also push, or let's do replace because we don't want the user to come back to the login page. Return. That's not the case. We need to set the error message to invalid user token. Let's see. So in here, I'm going to add an extra space to show you it failing. Yep, failed to authenticate. So let's remove that and try again. Yep. So login successful, and we have the token. So we have a login page and we have register page. So we need to have a logout page here. And let's remove this from the layout. Yeah, that is from the home page. Okay, so let's put logout button in the home page. Logout. To do that, we will need add cookies next. So we are going to have this as a component. So let me create that here in the app. Components, logout. So let's import from we need to clear the cookie. I always keep forgetting the name of that cookie. BBauth, yep. Then we need to redirect the user to and always remember this is not the first one, is not the one we use. This is the old way and this is the new one. Next, you import from next navigation, not next router. So what we do is we need to add a little bit of a delay. We give that function to some time to clear things. So what we do here is router dot push auth / login. So we are redirecting the user to the login page. I think we had styling for it. Let's see in the global. Yep, logout button. Its name is. So when we get back here, should have that, right? Oh, we still have the log out button. Yep, we need to declare it as use client. And we need to have log out as a text. Yep. So let's create a way to navigate between these pages. So let's go to page, login page. So let's close this one. And below here to the form, we need to have the form footer. NBSP. This adds space after, so slash register, then register. So let's copy this and go to the register page. Put after the registration form, and here already have an account. Login. Yeah. So we can go to the register page, come back to the login page. So I think this shows you how easy it is to integrate. I think this shows you how easy it is to integrate PocketBase with Next.js. And in the next tutorial, I'm going to create a bigger project. So this is going to be the base of that project, and we are going to add more functionality. I was thinking of adding blog posts, so which we are going to use the PocketBase as database. The authentication is much simpler than when we want to add custom tables to the database. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'll be doing more. If you like this, please subscribe so you don't miss the next tutorials. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate this. Have a great day. Bye bye.